Продовжуємо.
We continue our working day. I would like to give the floor to ask our speakers to come to the platform. Oleksandr Bashenko, Chairman of the Organizing Committee of Cycling Race Horizon Park, Head of the Ukrainian Cycling Federation, Mr. Oleksii Trofymov, Head of Youth and Sports Department of Kyiv City State Administration, Mr. Oleksandr Kyryzliiev, Chairman of the Chabanivka Village Council, Mr. Chabanivka, the winner of the Race Horizon Park last year, and Mr. Oleksandr Kyryzliiev, who is the champion of Ukraine in the many-year cycling race in Horizon Park. Also, we have the Skype connection, or we're later going to establish this contact with the prize winners and the racers who participated in the last year's race. We are going to talk today about the International Cycling Race in Horizon Park 2017, which is for the first time ever is going to be held along the 19-kilometer long route in this city. So you have the floor, Oleksandr. Good afternoon. You know that we have this well-known brand race, Horizon Park. This is the summertime. Until the last year, it was only for the men. Now it also involves a ladies competition, which is going to be held in Kyiv on 26th, 28th May of this year for the sixth time now. The competition is unique in Europe because only in Ukraine they introduced, they actually provided 3 days in a row for the males. I mean, the cycling race competition also for the ladies, 2-day contest or competition, which actually enabled us and which was corroborated by the practice that Ukraine is a very sports-oriented state. We actually won a lot of the scores based on which we have to qualify to the championship, World Championship, or the Olympic Games competition. I would like to emphasize that the chance to participate in this competition is supported by the whole on-site support of our major sponsors, specifically the Kyiv City State Administration. Oleksii Trofymov represents the chairman of the department of the city administration, who takes a lot of care of the development of the cycling sports here. You know that in Kyiv they actually are close to the completion of the special the cycling stadium, which has been in ruins for many years. The city of Kyiv, the Kyiv as the resident of the city, takes special pleasure in attending the sports events of this level. For example, in the Solomenka city district on the May 28th, actually people are used to leave their motor vehicles just to come to attend this kind of race. People who share the same board or the same yard and they do not communicate for, let's say, for a long time, they now have a chance to talk a lot about what happened over the period of the year that elapsed, actually. I would like to talk about the great respect of the cycling community. For example, Oleksandr Kyryzliiev is here today, chairman of the Chabanivka Village Council, right? And I would like to say that this is, maybe would think that this is just Kyiv region, but for me, this is a big question, which is closer to the historical part of the city, Troyeshina district or Chabani village. And actually the underground branch is coming closer to Chabani. Maybe it would be faster built than the another branch of metro line of metro coming to Troyeshina. It's a unique village which has a unique cycling track and actually which has been used for the preparation of the Olympic team of cyclists of Ukraine. In some sense, I don't know, maybe our colleague from the chairman of that Village Council will add more information regarding the status of this cycling track. They're going to renovate that. They took special care of that last year. They're going to continue that effort this year, and which makes this kind of competition even more interesting because, as you know, the cyclists do not consider the victory is a deserved one under such a complex conditions, and this is a very complicated, complex track, and the more complex is the track, the more valuable is the victory. So for this competition, 17 teams have been registered from 11 countries: Kuwait, Poland, Serbia, United States, Czech Republic, etc., etc. And while in the past we just invited the teams ourselves, now the brand really works owing to the support of our administrations, in this village of Chabanivka in the city of Kyiv. The cyclists are coming here for a serious type of competition. On the other hand, they're going to plunge in a very beautiful atmosphere created for them. Actually, we cannot but mention also the competition for the ladies. Actually, never before was the case. This is the second year we are going to provide our women with such an opportunity. Our girls and ladies come from different countries. Actually, about 60 ladies, 60 are going to participate in this year's competition. Based on the results of last year's, owing to such competitions, we received an additional license for the next Olympic Games. Well, somebody can say that we have not had the Olympic champion, but in the Olympic Games, the most important participation, not the victory, and the representation of this or another country. So we are happy to have such an opportunity and enjoy the support on the part of the city of Kyiv and the Vyshgorod district administration. If you're talking about the arrangement or organization of such ladies race, or cycling race. In conclusion, my very short presentation, I would like to say that it's of paramount importance if we are talking about development of the cycling sports today, given the absence of, put this way, the old Soviet type of financing. A very important role is played by our sponsors, who today are more willing to cooperate today because they do believe that those competitions are going to be very interesting. And we are talking about such a well-known company as Subaru, which ensures the technical support. It is a company, this is the worldwide brand, which is like a timer for the International Cyclists Union or Association, including the company. Actually, those companies try to tempt these races with the very valuable awards. Another very interesting innovation, the sponsoring the ultrasound. We are going to actually leading the way will be a huge musical instrument on the carriage, so the whole city is going to be informed about what's going on the street. So I also would like to know the support given by the Boris Clinic. If you remember, during this kind of the last year's accident or incident, they were fast medical aid given by the Boris company allowed us to avoid serious consequences. Also, New York Burger and Lucky Luke chain also joined the sponsors, so we are going to be offered very tasty burgers. So speaking about how we can combine two, as one of my American acquaintances told me, he said, I have never known a single case when somebody would be poisoned by the McDonald's product. So again, we are talking about Export TV channel, Sport 1, Big Mirror is Sport, and The Observer. Traditional, they actually broadcast the news, and they provide the coverage of these sports events for this race. We appreciate their support. So also I'd like to note here that this level competitions have become possible in such big cities only owing to the position and the stance of the mayor of the city, the village council chairman, and the all support. Here they're talking about the state road inspectorate and such. A thing like the taking repair of the asphalt, let's say cover of the roads, and both in Kyiv and in Chabanivka village once a year they main repair this kind of the route to be used the rest of the year by all the residents of this locality. I would like to emphasize that specifically today in Ukraine. We managed to ensure such a support also in the city of Odessa, and also speaking that exhausts the list of locality of this kind. So the Kyiv city and the village of Chabani are the kind of they lead the way in trying to achieve high attainments in the cycling sports in this country. Okay, what kind of streets they're going to block and what kind of the changes are going to be are in store of us during this race. Good morning, dear journalists, esteemed colleagues. Well, it's true. Mentioned that for the city of Kyiv, this is a very important, let's say, event, which is actually international in its caliber. Which can draw or attract a lot of tourists to the city of Kyiv. That's why it's very important function, or kind of a very important exam or test for the administration of this city. As it has been mentioned, the roads and the asphalt cover is going to be renovated, and they are going to take care and maintain the roads, which are going to be used during this cycling race. Usually, since it has become a good tradition, the city of Kyryzliiev will be blocked on Saturday, also the Shevchenko Boulevard, and the Victory Prospect until the metro station Nivka. This is 20-kilometer circle route, which is going to be used for this race. Also, I would like to note that for the city of Kyiv, any kind of the sport events are very important over this now calendar year, because the city of Kyiv in Ukraine actually won the trust and the confidence on the part of the international sports community. Today, Kyiv is the venue of the World Championship in ice hockey, or let's say European Championship in the 3-day race, or the different swimming pool events. You know, when we start all this, nobody could think that this would become, this kind of cycling race would become such a popular event. And when we arranged the first ever in Ukraine ladies race, that was really some kind of the unexpected event for all the world global sports elite, and we are going to provide the support in the future as well. Today in Kyiv they built or prepared new sports arenas, and this also is true or holds for the cyclist paths and segments, and they plan to build more than 200 kilometers of the cyclist roads. These are paths. This is the sports tradition for the city. The city is really athletic, and it's become a very tradition for the citizens of Kyiv. And actually, there is already response on the part of the citizens of Kyiv to different sports events. So we are going to try to do everything possible to provide the comfortable conditions. Okay, let's make the city of Kyiv a kind of the special site for cycling in order all the roads be repaired properly. Alexander, what kind of amendments or changes are in store? Are you in the village of Chabanivka? Okay, good morning. First of all, I would like to know that for us, this is a very significant event for all of us, because this event is a kind of the international caliber. I would like to thank Oleksandr Bashenko, a person who really, truly developed this kind of sports in Ukraine last year when for the first time ever they mentioned that Chabanivka village will be the venue of such races. Yeah, we were amazed actually, or surprised, honestly speaking, but then in the process of this event, everybody came to understand what kind of road we are talking about, and the roads coming through the forested area, etc., etc. Until then, that we even didn't know that that was the old cycling route, which was built yet in the Soviet times. And of course, they told us 2 weeks before that. And of course, we faced a lot of the preparatory work. We had to put into order everything there. We had to take care of clearing the area. In fact, the width was 5-meter wide route initially, but now only 1.5 meters remained. So we did everything we had to do, and this year we are going to provide everything which is necessary. Cleaning, clearing, whatever, Chabanivka village Soviet council is going to take care of that. We managed to ensure the understanding, mutual understanding with the Kyiv city administration, Chabanivka village council. Everybody tries to give us a hand in here. We actually provided the technical certificate of this cycling track. And of course, we are talking about the event we are going to have this year. We won't be able to finish the overhaul, repair all the cycling route. But again, the governor has the intention to renovate this cycling track 100%. To be used for the further development of the cycling sports in this country. Following this race, and for this race, we actually allocated special premises, which is going to be used for the kind of cycling school, and we are going to develop this kind of sports in our village. And again, first of all, we're talking about cycling tracks, which can be used without actually going into the highway, I would say, not to be in the way of the heavy traffic on that highway. So in the territory of the Chabanivka village council, we have the sports club in mix. This is the only sports base in the Kyiv region. We actually maintain that, and then we have very serious intentions regarding all those specific efforts to further develop the infrastructure in this sport, which actually spells, first of all, health, or involve more and more young people to the healthy way of living, and we are going to provide the comprehensive support of this event. Once again, I would like to thank Oleksandr Bashenko, who actually pushes other self-governance bodies in different other villages to join us to develop the sports in their specific respective localities, Mr. Alexander. But what is necessary to become the winner in this race? And they're going to become instructor in the Chabanivka cycling school. Well, I don't know whether I'm going to become one of the instructors. Maybe it's too early for me, but I like this spot. The nature, fresh air, forested area. Maybe in the future we'll take the proposal. Well, if they still choose me as a one of the instructors, speaking about this race, you know, the strongest become the winners, so you have to take special care of preparing for such a race. You have to get acquainted with a specific route. Our team has some advantages because this is not the first time we participate in such races. We know where we have to accelerate the movement, where we have to take care of the turns, etc., to ensure the high quality and high quality race. I mean, it doesn't matter really who is going to become a winner. You know, this is the most important is to take care of the proper preparation, which is a prerequisite of victory. But but we really wish to win in our native city. So I would like to ask the citizens of the city and the village to come to go out in the street to enjoy this feast of sport, the festival of sport, because Oleksandr really actually takes care of the high quality, not even the races. This is a real festival of sports, and people can really enjoy that. This is meant for your heart and soul. You can root for our team, and once again, we will try to prove that maybe we do not belong to the tail of all those who participate in such races. Maybe this would become another stimulus for our participation in this race. Mikhailo, have you studied already thoroughly the route? Good afternoon. Well, actually, I can say yes, because every year we actually cycle, or we participate in use the same route. This year maybe there will be this circle, the race circle will be extended a bit. We are going to reach the Nivki district of Kyiv, maybe the Independence Square as well. Again, very strong teams are going to participate in this race. We'll try to become the winners, to make our fans happy in their home city. So the most important for the Kyivites to come and support their beloved athletes. Actually, we have the communication with our participants from abroad. We will try to establish the contact. So the floor is given to Dean Strubetsky, who is the advisor on the issue of communication during this cycling race. Good afternoon. We are going to have two contacts through the Skype. I don't know where should I stand better. Maybe this over there. Number one, we are going to talk to Jacek Mareka from the team Fusion. This is a very serious and strong Polish team. We can see he already is ready to talk to us.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's good to hear. We are really happy to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us here in Kyiv. Это Jacek Mareka, гонщик, который на первой гонке.
This is the races who participated, who became the runner-up during the last year's race. So my question: you were the runner-up during the last year's race in the Horizon Park. You managed to actually demonstrate a very good result. Despite the domination of the Ukrainian team. So what are your plans, tasks for this year race?
Here in Race Horizon Park, and also for Marek Rutkevich take the second place. And the question is, what actually the goals for this year? Because the domination of the Ukrainian KOLSS team is quite big in the Ukrainian races. What are you planning to do against it? And what are the general goals?
Yes, that's first I want to say hello to all of you.
Хочу в першу чергу подякувати.
We're really happy about the last year edition. We are very happy about the second place. We managed to finish, and this year, last year also we were very surprised about the organization of the race and everything. Yes, like you said, last year the domination of the KOLSS team was really big, and I can say we were really happy to get the second place, because they were really strong, and we came back home with a really good feelings after your race, and yes, we hope to fight again this year and try to win one of the 3 races.
Thank you. I'll translate. Ячик говорит, что в первую очередь приветствует Киев, привет большой Киеву, и он говорит, что он, в принципе, он и его команда очень рады тем, что им удалось завоевать 2 вторых места, потому что это были очень тяжелые гонки. В первую очередь он был очень сильно удивлен уровнем организации гонок в Киеве, потому что он был действительно на очень хорошем уровне и очень хорошо организован. С другой стороны, они, конечно, в какой-то степени были даже удивлены тому, что им удалось завоевать сразу 2 вторых места, потому что действительно украинская команда KOLSS, она очень сильная и постоянно доминирует, и с ней очень тяжело бороться. Но в этом году они, в принципе, приезжают в Киев. Во-первых, они очень рады приехать в Киев, в принципе. А во-вторых, они все-таки надеются немного сломать эту доминацию KOLSS и все-таки выиграть одну из гонок. Второй вопрос Ячику, который вот в первую очередь на первой гонке, которую в прошлом году очень хорошо выступил.
My second question to you, Jacek, this kind of race, as a veteran, this race.
What's actually your favorite race during the Race Horizon Park race series? I mean, there are 3 one-day races, and what's actually your favorite one?
Of course, my favorite is the race when I took second place. But I can say that the last race, I don't remember the name of the city, but the last race with the small lap, with the small hill was really nice. And I think this was the favorite, the favorite of the three races. I have to say also that we were really glad and happy about the decision of the last year organization when they decided to start the race when it was really raining on the cobblestones. Many riders wanted to race again, but the organizer said stop. There is no weather condition, and we were really glad and happy about this. And I think it was one of the best decisions.
Yeah, thank you. Мне тут говорят, что это синхрон, поэтому мой перевод был бесполезен, но окей. Я, правда, его не слышу, но тем не менее. My last question to you is actually what are you expecting from the race today? I mean, you've said a little bit about the weather conditions here, and it's quite usual and quite typical for Kyiv races that on one day there is a huge rain. And do you expect that there will be some rain this year to Race Horizon Park? And yeah, what do you expect about the whole atmosphere in Kyiv?
No, I was talking about that. We like a team. We were really glad about the decision what organizer made last year. That when it was raining on the cobblestone, he decided to stop the race. I know that the weather condition can be really different in Ukraine, also in Poland, but. I'm not blaming the weather. I'm just saying that organization of the Horizon Park made a really good decision.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jacek. Это был Jacek Marajka из команды Vibeta.
And this was our Polish colleague from the Polish team.
Команде.
Now we're going to switch over to the Belarusian team. Konstantin Klemenkov, who has been participant in this race since 2014, and speaking in principle, the Minsk team is one of the major competitors in this race. And our Ukrainian team, we have 2 competitors who actually became the winners of this race in different years. And the Minsk team is one of those teams which are strong competitors. Sergei Babko managed once to become the runner-up or place second in the Horizon Park Maidan, and this year they plan to stage a very good performance this year with his colleague Oleksandr Bashenko. Konstantin, hello, it's nice to see you again in Kyiv, and we are happy to see you. Today my first question. Well, speaking in principle, you're a veteran of this race. Since 2014, you were participating in all those races, and you know that your team liked this race, and it was one of the major competitions in your sports calendar, which makes this race a special one for you. I mean, this year. Unfortunately, I cannot hear the speaker. Sorry for that. What goals you have for this year? I know that Slabashko is in very good shape. Yeah, maybe he can actually challenge all the other teams. Are you going to do something about that?
Вот тут есть специальный вопрос от Oleksandra Bashenko.
There is a special question from Oleksandr Bashenko, the national track event team from Belarus. Do you have some special tactics? They're going to help you to offer a really top competition to your competitors.
Ну и последний вопрос, собственно говоря, Константин, какие, в принципе, какие другие...
And the last question, what other teams are your major competitors in Kyiv, in addition to the Polish team?
Да, я тут слышу, у гонщиков Кольца еще есть вопрос к Минску, да?
I understand there are some questions among our participants to you. Konstantin would like to ask you how many races you're going to win this year here in Kyiv. All three or maybe two, I don't know. Last time Konstantin told me that they were going to win all three races. And actually this season is very good for them. Maybe they can actually claim to win all these three races. Maybe we can be happy with the runner-up award or maybe the third place. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Konstantin. We welcome you in Kyiv and we'll be happy to see you Minsk team for the third time in a row this year. Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other comments to our Skype colleagues, or maybe there are some questions from the audience? This is a good time to shoot. If not, oh, sorry. I have the question to Oleksii Trofymov. Can you please tell us about the opening of this cycling track field? When you plan to do that, and what is going to kind of ceremony are going to have? Thank you for the question. This is really a very important event or function, and we are positive that this will actually give us another additional impetus for the further development of cycling sports, or further let's say development of this cycling track site. You know, of late the cycling sports in Ukraine was not really given a lot of attention, and the opening of these cycling tracks and let's say the reopening of the training cyclists here will be very instrumental to demonstrate to Kyiv citizens and all the whole Ukraine that the cycling sports is a very important sport event. Is going to be let's say reinstated, I would say, or renovated, re-established in Ukraine, starting from all different high schools of different caliber. And we hope that very fast, very quickly, the Kyiv team will be arranged, which will be strong enough to compete on the world, global, or European level. Speaking about the opening ceremony of this race and track, it consists of two different components. Number one, you are going to have cycling races, competition of the very young cyclists, amateurs, and professional racers, to be followed by very graphic and very interesting opening ceremony, and we are going to have the fire and laser show and the aerial gymnast, and we are going to demonstrate for the first time ever the history of the racing tracks since the opening of this cycling track in 2005, in 1905. And it started to operate in 1910, but but built in 1905. So we're going to demonstrate the history, which step by step, actually, or let's say fragment by fragment, has been preserved by the film studio named after Bashenko, and anybody willing will be able to watch this video film. So everybody is kind of invited to participate in this ceremony, or the ceremonious opening of this cycling track. We are going to have a very interesting and graphic event, so everybody is invited to come and watch with your own eyes. This is kind of a historical monument. In order to preserve this historical monument, a lot of efforts have been exerted, not only on the part of the administration, but in the community of the city of Kyiv, the cyclists, and the sports community. That's why we hope that this race and track field will be given the second breath, so to say, a second life, as we say, and this will become a very important component of the cyclist facilities in Kyiv, because we are going to have maybe the biggest, the largest cycling hub in the city of Kyiv, not only in Kyiv but in Ukraine. So please come to the opening ceremony, and you will be given a chance just to cycle there, both in the open air and the special gyms, which will be open for the local citizens and the other. Speaking about the banquet, I cannot say anything about the banquet party because I'm not responsible for that. Anyway, I believe. Any other questions or comments? So please into the mic, because we are on the online contact still with our foreign participants. Actually, I have two questions. Number one, addressed to the chairman of the Chabanivka Village Council, because this is Olympic tracks. You mentioned that last year, only 2 weeks before that race, they told you what had to be done. This year had more time in order to do something. We still have some time left, So I'm really interested in what you're specifically doing there, because we can say that last year the track were in bad condition, but actually they left much to be desired in many aspects.
Specifically, what we are doing now, last month we removed waste cuts from trees, and the side road trees were cut last month because the track was restricted with access to the road was restricted with those trees. We cut them, and so far the trees have been whitened, and in the area of forest prior to the area of Chebany village. Everything will be brought to good order. All those trees which interfere with this route, with this track, they will be cut soon. First, we addressed the track inside the village, and now we also address the road outside the area of our village, and we will develop both sports and infrastructure in our village. During this year we did much in this domain, and we have intentions to achieve really our goals, so that people want to come here to competitions, not only sportsmen, not only athletes from local area, from Kyiv Svetoshin district, but we also want to develop the sports here in Ukraine. I have a question to Ukraine. Can they represent the teams before the race Horizon Park, because it was not available during previous 5 years. The first race was outside of public attention. Is it possible to host a presentation of the teams at Krishchatik Street? We are talking that we have 3 races, before which race we should present the teams before the first or some other race. Well, your comment is an interesting one. We can incorporate it. The previous years we had races at Krishchatik Street, and every year there was a cyclist parade. About 6,000 people, including mayor, took part in this cycle racers parade. For one race, we can't ask the municipality to stop traffic in the city at all. But we will try to stop traffic at Krishchatik Street and have presentation of the team, so that the public get more information. Last year it was the first live broadcast of the cycle races in Kyiv. If the commission had not stopped the race during rain because of one case of falling race, we really would have had the first precedent of live broadcast of cycle race. And I would like to say that, look, when the race develops, if someone played the game of building a city, if there are not enough parks in the city, then some storms may start. If there are not enough law enforcement officers, then the crime will develop. I would like to say that Chebany village develops very fast, although it is administrative independent area, but without developing sports infrastructure, then we will have problems with lifestyle of young people. the city spent some large amounts of money into modernizing and overhauling the cycle track in the city. But if we do not develop sports infrastructure in Kyiv and Chabanivka, then lifestyle of youth will be poor. And this cycle track, it is a historical place. We can build stadium not in the center of the city or a zoo, not at the downtowns, but somewhere outside the city, in the outskirts. In Vyshgorod, we had women's cycle race, but it was criticized heavily because the track is very flat, too flat. It is ideal. The wind also helped them, and the participants in this women's race, they said that this race was not universal. Now we have universal race. The racers will cycle both there and back, so the wind will not be helping, and the universal principle is adhered to. When we go out of the city, we have problems with roads, with the quality of roads. In this case, you see, there is right understanding, correct understanding of infrastructure. This is what the city needs for attracting the inhabitants and the tax base of taxpayers to grow. I would like to add a good comment that the presentation of all teams, this would be an interesting event because 8 or 10,000 fans will take part on May 20th. There will be huge bicycle race parade, different sports achievements of cycle industry will be demonstrated, and some portion of this bicycle race parade will be at the track, the cycle track, this new facility. Many fans and many people who like bicycles, all of them will be combined in one system on May 20th, and then on May 27th the race horizon starts. There on May 27th the presentations could take place. Finish could really be at the cycle track. Maybe let us cycle track facility to open, to start their activities this year, and next year we will finish the race at the cycle tracks infrastructure. We wish you every success. We wish success to bicycle racers so that they have both strong competitors and good wins. Thank you.
Мы сейчас будем это дело раскручивать, мы дадим все материалы, куда это пойдет.